Good evening, fellow South Africans, citizens, friends, colleagues, all of those who have sent us incredible encouragement following last week's inaugural message from the Rainbow People's Party. It's a great pleasure to be speaking to you once again. And we want to thank each and everyone who has sent us emails, phone calls, those who've interacted with us via our Facebook page of the Rainbow People's Party. We appreciate feedback and we thank you for some of the great ideas that we heard. We have found that South Africans are very concerned about their country and are very passionate about trying to make it a better place and building a future that we all can believe in. It gives us hope at the Rainbow People's Party that so many people have responded to a first-time message. Indeed, the country that we all marched for, that we all hoped for and prayed for, is still out there for us to achieve. And we thank each and every one of you. Mr. Callahan said to us that a movement like the Rainbow People's Party needs to have broader consultation with communities to find out exactly what those communities want and to articulate those exact sentiments and views. We at the RPP wish to say to Mr. Callahan, we agree wholeheartedly and totally. And we want to assure him tonight of three things. Number one, this is an idea whose time may have come now, but it is an idea that has been in the pipeline for the past 15 years. The Rainbow People's Party consists of volunteers, community workers, NGO and NPO workers, those who sacrifice their time to build a better South Africa with no payment. They have done so mostly at their own expense, from our volunteers in the areas of Gugulethu, Khayelitsha and Bonteheuwel, to those who work in Duduza and Umlazi, who have spent their own resources to feed, to coach, to mentor. Those who have done so with no reward and with no government assistance, who have had their ear to the ground in these communities. We have listened and we have heard and we have asked. And we are comfortable right now that from Baysdorp to Ocean View, from Seshego to Gugulethu, that we have heard what the people are saying. They want faster change. Secondly, I want to say, we in the Rainbow People's Party did not start this party simply because we want to be politicians. If anything, we believe that politicians have failed us. And it is the time now for ordinary people like us, like yourself, to take our future into our own hands and to build and create the kind of country that we've always talked about. Thirdly and lastly, I want to assure Mr. Callahan and those others who also ask the question, why another political party? And the answer there is simple. We have given the current one 17 years to bring about the change that we have asked for. In all fairness, they have tried, some very hard and some not so hard. But we are convinced the time has come for us to take issues into our own hands. We believe that this phase of our struggle needs a new dynamic energy. It needs an excitement and a dynamism that is currently missing from politics today. We understand that politicians have their ways, but we believe that in the Rainbow People's Party, the time to create the kind of change we want is now, and we must do it. After all, this is our future. And we want to thank you, sir, for those pertinent questions. I want to move on to another question that was asked by Mr. Vincent Mnisi, who is in Sunderland in the United Kingdom, completing a degree at the University of Sunderland. Vincent Mnisi asked us, he said, politicians, when they seek public office, promise 150,000 things, but they never ever fulfill their promises. Mr. Mnisi, the RPP consists, as I said earlier on, of volunteers, ordinary people like you and I, people who are determined and passionate, and they are concerned about their country. Now, politicians have done the best they can. In all fairness, there has been much change in South Africa. That is not what the Rainbow People's Party is questioning. We are questioning the pace and the amount of meaningful change. The last question I want to tackle today is one that was asked by a citizen of South Africa who lives in Lansdowne, Cape Town. Alice Hopley says that, is the Rainbow People's Party a race-based party? Because last week in the first inaugural address, she says the presentation was heavily skewed towards the Western Cape. The answer here is simple. We are called the Rainbow People's Party because we believe in the concept of a rainbow nation. This nation consists of various peoples with different cultures and traditions, a beautiful kaleidoscope of colors. And therefore, that is what we believe in: one South Africa, one people, one nation, one destiny. Thank you very much for those questions. If you want to interact with the Rainbow People's Party, wherever you may be in the world, we ask you to use our Gmail address, rppsouthafrica@gmail.com, or visit our Facebook page, the Rainbow People's Party, and help us to create the kind of future we've always talked about. But the Rainbow People's Party is not just a party that offers criticism and condemns everything that is done. Much good has taken place in this country. But the time has come to accelerate the change. The time has come to safeguard our liberation and to move to the next step. And today I want to touch on 3 areas that we believe prohibit job creation and which stifle economic growth in South Africa. Number 1, in this country, unfortunately, we have a lack of state support for those who seek employment. Finding a job is a very hard business and costs money. But currently, job seekers have very little help from the government. The RPP, therefore, has come up with the following methods to help those who are seeking jobs and who wish to enter the employment market. Number 1, an RPP government will introduce a subsidized public transport ticket or voucher that will assist those seeking jobs to travel to and from places where they may have had the fortune of having an interview. This subsidized voucher or ticket will cover all transport modes, which means that those who seek jobs will be able to use trains, buses, and taxis to get to and from the destinations where they may have secured an interview or an assessment. We believe this will help people because the cost of traveling is not something that a job seeker should be concerned about. Number 2, the Rainbow People's Party will set up job offices and job centers at the various community and civic centers which are standing underutilized as white elephants in most of our communities. At this present moment in time, those community centers in our communities serve mainly and mostly as event venues, where people have all sorts of social events, and election times political parties utilize them for rallies and meetings. But we'd like to sweat our assets. Instead of building brand new job centers and drawing more resources from the fiscus, we would like to convert a portion or a part of those community centers into job centers, where we will employ people who will see to the needs of those who seek employment. We want to offer help to job seekers in the areas of CV writing, of interview grooming. We want to teach them corporate world etiquette, how to conduct yourself at various interviews to improve their chances of getting a job. A National Corruption Watch Center and a toll-free number will be set up to see that those job centers operate maximally, giving value to South Africans who visit them and who use them. Internet access, experts who can help you formulate a CV that will guarantee you a job or give you a better shot at getting into the workplace. That is what the Rainbow People's Party wants to do for South Africans. We also believe that the Rainbow People's Party will outlaw the current practice of employers who have a 100% foreign workforce. This is not to the advantage of South Africa, and neither to the advantage of those we seek to build relationships with across the continent. In the area of general labor, and in those other areas where we have found employers are paying foreign workers below the belt, we cannot do that. An RPP government will outlaw it and put a stop to it. South Africa has laws, rules, and regulations pertaining to a minimum wage across industries. We will see that that is adhered to, and we will watch it zealously. We champion as a Rainbow People's Party a 60-40 split. In bias, we champion as a Rainbow People's Party a 60-40 split, where general labor is concerned, with a bias towards South Africans. We want integration with people who are not from South Africa. And we are not going to achieve that if we have a place with 100% South African workforce or 100% foreign workforce. They must be brought together so that we can also encourage social cohesion across the country and across Africa. We cannot allow the alienation of South Africans from the workplace. That is sowing the seeds for social disorder and civil unrest, which no modern economy can afford. In the long run, it also poses a threat to national security. And these are the kind of behavioral patterns from the corporate world that make it ripe for things like xenophobia to happen. We will create more jobs. We will be able to accommodate more South Africans and non-South Africans and integrate those workforces so that we have a cohesive community that operates at maximum output. At this point in time, by the employers and the corporate world favoring a particular sector, being South African or non-South African, they are not helping in this regard. We will put a stop to this. Another area that we believe needs attention is the recruitment industry. Now, some of the methods that are used here are Stone Age, they are unhelpful. So we want to have a look at them so that we can free ourselves from doing things the same way we've been doing 40 years, and even if those things don't work for us. Because this is how it currently works. One thing that needs to also change is the recruitment industry methods, particularly the reference system. At this present point in time, a person seeking a job from a new company would need a verbal telephonic reference from their old company. Now, they may have left for legitimate reasons, but this gives your ex-employer, who may have an axe to grind with you, the opportunity to derail your future plans, because the decision to employ you then rests solely on the word of that other individual from the company where you have left. Now, they may have treated you as unfair as broad daylight. They may have had unfair labor practices, and they may have paid you below the belt, as they are prone to abuse our fellow brothers and sisters from the African continent. It cannot be that your future prospects of a job somewhere else depend on a word spoken by such a person at your previous company. Why on earth do we then have sales reports, performance appraisals, peer reviews? All these mechanisms should play a place and must come into use. And every company where a worker leaves, he needs to leave with a written copy of those particular documents so that we can look. We can still do the normal telephone reference check, but now we have a printed document that was compiled at the given time the person was employed, telling us how productive a member of staff they were. The reference system as currently exists is open to abuse and has derailed many people's plans and has destroyed many people's lives. It must go. I know human practitioners have for years been doing this. We are saying a new day is here. If we want to build a future we can all believe in, we have to change some of those ways. One other thing that I believe stifles job creation and growth in the economy is the tender system. And one of the areas we would like to look at the tender system is in the provision of houses. We've had many houses built, and half of those houses have had to be rebuilt or repaired because we are giving tenders to people who don't have any connection to those communities in which they are building those houses. So this is what we propose to do. Any development project that involves the setting up of infrastructure in any local community will be handed to that community. How will we do that? The Rainbow People's Party will do, first of all, number one, we will compile a skills audit of which people in the particular area have which skills. Once we have ascertained that, we will come up with a system where we will help these workers to create co-ops, where government will help them by appointing professionally qualified graduates to help them run these on a professional basis. The local house building and maintenance of a particular area will be given to those co-ops. This will create employment. This will keep people off the streets. We believe that this will add to the fiscus in terms of taxation. But most importantly, we have communities building their own homes because they know best what they want. Social